All right, miracle workers, we are here today, and I have some exciting news for you. And if you've been following on social media, then you probably have already seen it. But we're going to talk about the fun part, the things that are coming along and that I'm gifting to you that have to do with this big surprise. And before I go into that, I just want to share a little bit about what's been going on because I know my last podcast episode was controversial, and I'm just so curious about how it was received for you. And if it made you think a little differently, see a little differently, that's my ultimate goal with all of this. If you've been following me for some time and you've listened to my work, then you understand that I don't believe in a right or wrong. I believe in you doing what's right for you, and that what's right for you can change moment to moment, day by day, and absolutely year to year. And we have to give ourselves permission to be fully in whatever season we're in and like just grow and evolve and allow ourselves to change our mind. I think one of the things that keeps us stuck and small in our old ways, old patterns, and really old paradigms that impacts our money, relationships, and all the things, and keeps us from the ultimate dream life that we have on our hearts and in our vision is that we are unwilling to be someone different than we've been. And we are afraid, I speak up for the we here, is that we are collectively afraid of meeting the people that have known us and saying, that's not who I am anymore, or I don't believe that anymore, or this is where it really gets us. You know what? I was wrong about that. People do not like to do that, right? I was talking to my ladies that were in the mastermind, or still in the mastermind, but that are at the mastermind retreat, and one of them said, I'm going through a rebirth, and one of the most uncomfortable parts is now seeing the places where I was wrong. I was wrong about some things and admitting that, and like her ego did not like it. And this is why, if you give yourself permission to understand that there's no right or wrong, that it changes, evolves, and that, yeah, there's universal truths and then there's your personal truth and perception that's always changing. Give yourself permission to fuck up, give yourself permission to change your mind. Ever since I gave myself that permission, it's like life is a lot easier because I'm like, yeah, that's what I wanted yesterday. But you know what? I changed my mind now. I feel differently now. Right. So I would invite you to play with that for a little bit. So that was the last podcast episode. And since it has been my birthday, I still consider this my birthday week. In fact, we are traveling to Los Angeles. I rented a beautiful home in Malibu right on the beach. And it is where I'm going to be spending 5 days. And I invested in a 1 day intensive with I don't know if you want to call him, but he is a energy wizard in a lot of ways. And I'm going to do a 1 day intensive having my energy field worked on and to just deep dive with some people that have invested in themselves in this really beautiful way. So I'm excited to see how that goes, but that's why I'm going to LA. And then my friends and I are going to be gathering and celebrating my birthday. So it feels like a really beautiful time. And if you have not seen, my daughter like shocked, wowed me, and just like impressed me so much with how she showed up for my birthday. I didn't want to do anything for my birthday. There wasn't any restaurant in Austin that was really calling me that I haven't already gone to. Didn't feel like buying myself anything. Like I bought myself the thing that I bought. Like I wasn't just going to go shopping just to like fill a void. I just really felt content, at peace, at ease. And I wanted to spend the day inward and being because I knew we had travel coming up. One thing that was calling me in was this idea of like, I was like, I want to go wine tasting. I wish I could go to Napa with some friends. Like, that could be cool. Like, I was just like sharing this desire that was coming up. We live right outside of the Texas wine country right now. So I would pass these little wine tastings on the weekends when we were driving, and I would just say that. So my daughter organized with my friends, Emma, Andrea, and Annabelle, and she organized with them to get the money to buy me these gorgeous bouquet of flowers, to buy me four different kinds of wines, and made me dinner, had the whole like cheese board and everything, and had candles lit and rose petals. I mean, it was phenomenal. And I will say this, I share this to say, that as I've been growing my life, my business, my perception, and I raise my standards, I teach my daughter to also have her own set of raised standards. And there's a lot of ways that she's taken on to that even faster and quicker than me because she doesn't have all the decades of programming in poverty. So for her, she's like, "All right, let's go. I'm spending this money. I'm spending that money." She feels like money is just something she plays with. And not in an irresponsible way, but in a there's always more where this has come from. And she understands that feeling good is it. Like that is the thing, that is the goal. And for her, it lights her up to give and to share. So it's been interesting watching that. And I share that with you for all of you moms out there, whether you're raising, girls, boys, whatever you're raising, I want you to know that your work impacts your children. And when I saw how my daughter showed up for me on my birthday, I could think about my dad who judged me and would say, "Nicole or Nick, you are being irresponsible and you are spoiling her and you're not showing her what real life is like." And I want you to think about that. You're spoiling her, you're not showing her what real life is like. Well, to some people, this is like not even the good life. Like to some people, this is not even it. This is like, this is not it for them. To some people, this is like, wow, I can't imagine you spend that much on this. It is all relative. And for me, what I love is that knowing that I show my daughter that I have a standard for certain things. I like my food a certain way. I like certain way things with my flowers. I mean, I'm appreciative of all things, let's say flowers or gifts. Like I'm like, thank you. Like the thoughtfulness is everything for me. But what I've showed my daughter with like places we stay, how I show up for myself, I can see how she takes all of that into mine. And this is one of those things where it's like how you treat yourself demonstrates everything to others. So I want to leave that kind of thought with you to know that I don't believe that you can spoil your kids if you do it with a presence and an intention and you do it from a space of love. And it's just really the intention behind everything. So, all of that is just to catch you up on where I've been. But what I really am here to talk to you about today is my new book. Now, if you're expecting it to be like my last book, it's not going to be. So, if you read my first book is a memoir, which means it's a story about my life. It is juicy, it's triggering, it is entertaining because it's freaking crazy. Like it's crazy. My own story, my own book, I'm just like, how was that this lifetime? How did I do those things? I can't even imagine. Like the transformation has been so profound. It's crazy, right? Like we can shed so much in this lifetime. So that's book number 1, which is my memoir. That came out 3 years ago, and while it's impacted so many readers and so many things have shifted and changed, what I want to really put out right now is I wanted to create something that can literally just serve my clients. Like, yes, of course, Oh Shift, my first memoir, is going to entertain you, engage you, and it is going to make you think about the ways that you're settling and, just look at what you think is possible for your life. And I hope just, toss it upside down and say, let's rethink everything. There's so much more for me. That's my intention with that book. And also for anyone that's been through abuse or someone that is currently going through abuse, addiction, living in poverty with their children, any of these things, I want you to know that anything is possible. That's that book. This book, Manifest Your $10,000 a Month, Unlocking Your Money Magnetism and Power to Prosper in Your Business, is a how to. It's a workbook. It's literally something that you can grab your pen, grab your workbook, and get to work. Start writing down, answering my questions, playing with the concepts I give you in this book, and starting to unpack your bullshit and limitation around you making $10,000 in your business right now. Now, here's an important thing to know. This book will serve you even if you don't have a business, because guess what? I didn't have a business 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I didn't have a business. And when I didn't have a business, what got me into business was seeing other people talking about these concepts and like, you can do this and help people, and you can have a dollar amount attached to it, and you can make money. In fact, you can make millions. I was like, huh? What? This happens like anybody without a college degree, even if you're currently broke, like I was at the time, I made it happen. But guess what? When I was doing that, there wasn't a book that did that. I invested in a $2,000 program. So this is a book that you can get, and you can take the process and you can begin to unpack stuff. So this book at 20 some dollars, you will get so much more value from it. And my intention is that you get $10,000 beyond. So I want to talk about what this book really dives into. So $10,000 a month is an important milestone to getting your first millions. Everybody wants the millions, right? They're like, yeah, I want to make this money. I want to do that. I want to make so much more than 10,000. Know this, that you have to be able to master how to get those $10,000 months before you can get to the $1 million launch. And I know that because I am living in that. Right now I'm aiming for like my first $1 million launch. What does that look for? What's that look like? Right? I've hit the 100K stuff. I want to go beyond. And I know it's inevitable. Just like I know that if you get this book and if you're working on your process, your 10,000K is inevitable. So it doesn't matter if you've hit $10,000 once in your business or if you have never hit even 1,000. This book will serve you. So what I do in this book is I go through 5 pillars of what I believe can really help you open your mind, open your heart, get the hell out of your way, and get into service and get into your gifts. My belief is that each and every one of us, whether you have a quote unquote business or not, we have the ability to help people and get an exchange of money for that. People are looking to solve a problem. That means that if I am moving through life and I have something that's frustrating me, which hello, we all do, we're going to hire someone. So whether you are hiring someone to come over to your house and walk your dogs because you feel so tired and you're so like overwhelmed with tasks right now that you're like, I need someone to come walk my dog. I'm willing to pay $50 a day for someone to come over twice a day and do this. Or whether you are ready to have someone come in and clean your home weekly, or whether you need someone to help you get your book done. So you're paying for accountability, you're paying for someone to really support you. I want you to think about all the ways. If it's you paying someone to give you a reading because you're like, I feel so unclear, I feel confused. There's so many conflicting ideas and noise in my mind. I want someone to give me a reading. I want an outside perspective to come in and help me, right? If you are having someone clean your car, if you're having someone, if you're going to go out and buy candles because you just love that little beautiful glow that comes when you have a new candle and that smell feels cozy, what are you doing? I think about all the flowers that got sent to me, right? Like, there's these flowers back here that came from my friend Sharzad. I have flowers here from my assistant. I have flowers that my daughter bought me out on my counter. She bought me $200 flowers. Now, could my daughter have gone to Trader Joe's and bought the same size and amount of actual blooms for less? Yes, she could. Do I think she could make them look like that? Probably not. If she did, it would take a lot more time because she has not perfected that yet. So what is better for both of us is if she goes and buys them, it has this like wow factor, right? It's worth the money. Now, this is what I want you to know is that all of these are services and there's products, that I'll show you this for those of you that are watching this on YouTube. I have these matches on my desk and they're so cute. They're gold. They have a see-through thing at the top. They have this little design. I don't even remember how much I paid for these, but let's say I have free matches that come from restaurants. Let's say I like the way this one looks. I buy it because I like the way it looks. Gives me a feeling when I look at it. Now, this is what I want you to realize. Everybody has different desires, different things that speak to them. And we are all buying and selling, or we're all, I wouldn't say we're all, well, we are all selling ourselves, but we are all buying all the time. Whether you're on Amazon, whether you are, going online and you see a social media ad. How many times are you on Instagram and you see something that's coming your way? I get like pajama ads all the time. You're like, look at this silk robe. Look at this thing. And I click on it. Like, do I want to buy it? Do I trust this thing? Like, there's so much of this that's happening. And the more you realize that you get to be a part of it, the more that you'll make money. So we have desire, we have permission, we have service, we have sales, and we have expansion. These are the five pillars of this workbook. Now, desire and permission are huge for manifestation. When it comes to service, it also is. And when I break down what service means to me, we talk about two different ways to be in service and how they both impact your money. And we really open your heart and your energy as it comes to the space of service, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that start a business or that are new in business and their business isn't popping off because they have the service and the sales energetics way off. So when I talk about this in this book, I talk about service and I talk about sales in a way that is energetically speaking. How to open your heart, how to get your energy behind these things, and how to really lead in a way that is heart-based leading and knowing that the money follows versus being so focused on sales that what I see with women and what I feel with women is when they're putting things out there and they're getting frustrated and they're getting this sales fatigue, this launch fatigue, there's an energetic interference within. And we talk about this manifestation interference and how if you have not fully given yourself the yes, mind, body, spirit, and getting all of you on board consciously, subconsciously, you will not sell. There's an interference with that manifestation process, with that co creation process. Now, I call this your $10,000 month, manifest your $10,000 month, because it's the language that gets people. It's the language that people recognize. But really, what this is co-creating with spirit to get your first $10,000 month. You are co-creating, right? But if I put you are co-creating, some people might not get that the same way as that they get manifest your $10,000 month. This is not a passive book. This is you being in action, in spirit, inspired, and showing up for this, and getting yourself into receiving mode, right? So then we have sales and expansion, the last two pillars that really go in. And expansion is really allowing yourself to go beyond. I saw somebody post something today, and it was like, let's say I hypothetically have $5,000 to throw in the stock market. What should we do? And all these people were like, I wouldn't even do stocks. I would do crypto. And that's where I am as well. I'm not giving advice here. This is my disclaimer. I'm not giving investment advice here. I'm just sharing from personal experience. I took all the money that I had in stocks and I pulled it out of stocks and put it into crypto. So I put it into Bitcoin. I put it into Ethereum. I put it into Dogecoin. And I did that because I like the returns and I like what's happening in crypto. I've made money there. I like how quickly the money comes, and the money can go quickly. But for me, I'm playing with it, and it's like I understand it enough to do that. So someone wrote that, and then a bunch of us were like, crypto, crypto. And this is like one of my high school friends, and I am friends with him. Otherwise, I would not even engage in this kind of commenting online. But I said, yeah, I would buy Bitcoin. It just dipped down. It's a great time to buy. And then he wrote and said, well, I should have bought it when it was $500. Now it's $30,000 today. And it's the kind of thinking like that. It's a limited thinking. It's a way of not even being open to what's there that keeps people closed and not doing anything different, right? So, and then there were other people that said only invest in your business. Your business is what gets you this. Your business is what is going to give you more money than anyone else's investments. Don't do this. It was like all of this investing advice, and I thought, I wonder how many of these people actually have businesses. I wonder how many of them are actually investing and having returns. And I wonder what their real goals are in life and how they're actually implementing on them. And I say all this to say that we want to think bigger thoughts. We want to ask bigger questions. And yes, investing in your business is what I suggest until your business is popping off. And then we start expanding beyond. So we have to be willing to think a bigger thought, ask a bigger question, and look into things that we don't necessarily know a lot about in order to get the kind of returns and the kind of wins and rewards that we see out in the world. And what I see from business to investing in other things, whether it's cryptocurrencies or stocks or angel investing in other people's businesses, is that the people that are making millions, if not making millions a month, those people think bigger thoughts and take bigger risk. They are understanding that money is a renewable resource. They are willing to circulate their money out in hopes and in with the intention that the money is going to circulate back to them in a lot of big ways, perhaps a bigger way. And if so, that's a win. They understand that not every single thing they do is going to be a big win, but they're willing to play and find the big wins. What happens with people that are small thinkers, limited thinkers, and often have limited bank accounts? And even if they are making money in their businesses, there's a very limited way of living there where it's like only one vacation a year because we already went on vacation this year. I can't invest in my business again because I already invested in a coach this year. I don't know if I can do this and play this investment because I don't know, it just isn't something that feels safe or that my mom or dad did or that my neighbor Jane is doing because she doesn't do it. You have to think a bigger thought. You have to think a bigger thought or you're always going to be in a limited space. You want a result that you've never experienced before and that a lot of people in your life haven't experienced before, live differently. Live differently. And that means it's going to be some risk taking. So that's what expansion is about. Expansion, even though I don't go into all that cryptocurrency, I don't do all that. This is a pretty simple book. It's a simple book that you can move through in a few days, answering the questions, reflecting on them, taking action on them. It's designed to get your wheels turning, your mind open. But I want you to know that expansion is everything because I don't want you to get to $10,000 a month and stop there. In fact, I feel like $10,000 a month is the minimum. It's the minimum. It's the minimum. How would you live? Who would you be? What would you act on? What would you do differently if $10,000 a month was a damn minimum for you? What if you even changed it to $10,000 a month is have to be what you have coming in from recurring payments. Like you're not even working for any of the $10,000 a month anymore. Just coming in on recurring payments. You know, that's where I'm at right now. I could just not work for for a few months. I could just be like, I'm not going to work. Of course, I mean, I should say I'm not going to sell. I have some calls I would have to do, but my schedule these days is really simple. It's really simple. I show up for my mastermind calls. And there's only two a month. I show up for my method, money miracles if it's happening. Like right now, this month, it's not happening. We're preparing to open it up soon in the summer. So, like, I just have these few calls a month. And the rest of the time is me asking questions like, what do I want to create? How can I serve? Really, a lot of my time is being spent at how I talk about in this book when it comes to the service pillar. Because what I know is that I have people to serve and that I have people that I want to help. You are one of them. So I think about what kind of podcast can I do? And this helps me make more money. It helps me get into a bigger place. And this is where I want you to get. So this book is for you to think a bigger thought. This book is for you to get out of your way. This book is for you to get to that $10,000 monthly and then surpass it. What I talk about in this book can help you get to $20,000 a month. It could take you to 40, 50,000. It's it's key principles about getting your heart into your business and leading from service and alignment and giving yourself permission. The things I talk about in the permission and desire are things that you can apply to your $100,000 month. You can apply the sales and the service. You can look at that and ask, how could I just show up in a bigger way? So I invite you to get this book. And guess what? I have something that's really exciting for you. And we are doing a $10,000 training and book celebration, and it's happening on June 10th. So, this thing that's happening on June 10th is a 90-minute session with me and people from all over the world that actually do these key steps. To get access to this exclusive training and celebration, we're going to do some manifestation, we're going to do some visualization, we're going to open your heart, we're going to dive into the principles in this book. So, whether you've already done the process in this book or you get it and you haven't gone through it yet, it doesn't matter. You're going to love this training and it's going to activate you. You hear my clapping? It's going to activate you. And not only that, I'm going to give one of our people in this training session, I'm going to give away $1,111. Yes, to one person. So it's like you're already that much closer to your first $10,000 month, okay? And who doesn't love to win $1,000, right? So here's what you have to do. You have to buy the book on Amazon. So the link is down in the show notes. The link is in the show notes. You are going to do the steps that are also in the show notes. You're going to get the book on Amazon. When you get the book on Amazon, you are going to then take a photo and share it on socials. And you got to tag me. It's the only way that I know about it. When you do that, I want you to have your experience with the book, but you also have to leave a rating and review. Leave a rating review, and I want you to screenshot that review. When you get that review and you screenshot it, you're going to send it to support@NicoleSylvester.com. So here's the steps. Here's what you're going to do. Buy the book, Amazon. That's the only place you can buy it. You get the book, you're going to leave a review. Leave a review, snap a screenshot, send it to support@NicoleSylvester. You are going to then take that book and share something on socials, whether it's you in the book, your cat in the book, or the book just sitting on your desk. We need that with me tagged. If you do these steps, and I would also suggest sharing it with some friends. But if you do these steps, you will get access to the session on June 10th, and you will also then be entered into the running for this $1,111. So you get the training, you get in the running for this money, and everyone that's in our Zoom session is going to be in the running. But in order to do that, have to be you have to be doing these steps. The steps have to be done. So make sure that you do all three steps. You buy, you review, you send the review in, and you share. So I guess with the emailing part, it's 4 steps. But my friends, that is that. You don't want to do it on June 10th. The cutoff date to get into this is the 9th. The 9th is going to be the last day that you can take part and to get involved, because my team has to be able to send you everything. And we have to make sure that we have your name in the running for the money. Now, that being said, I want to just give you this little heads up. June is going to be a big month all about the things abundance and you making more money. Not only do I have this book for you, but we have something else planned for later in the month, and it's going to be all about you getting into receiving mode, all about you turning up that awareness and knowing that you are not here to attract abundance, you are abundance, and we need you to express yourself. When you do that, life changes, everything shifts. This is what it's about. So I want to invite you to do something for me because it would mean the world to me. Invite 3 people. Invite 3 people that can benefit from this podcast, that can benefit from this book, that can benefit from getting into the session with us. Invite them. Let them be a part of this with you, because I will let you know this. You can make all the money you want. And of course, you can always meet new friends, and you should. That's part of expansion. It's getting out into the world and meeting new people that are meant to walk this path with you. But getting your current friends on board and teaching them about this and opening their mind to more of what's out there is revolutionary. You know, when I first found my business course that I invested in, when I had no business, I just had an idea that I wanted to help people. I knew that I was in suffering before and I wanted to help people. I didn't know what that looked like. I thought it would be a website for women. And I would just put some things out there like Huffington Post, like put some inspirational stories. I thought that would be it. And at the time I was hiding, I didn't want to share or show myself. I didn't think that I was worthy of helping anyone transform. And what I realize now is that I was meant to do that, but I had to get out of my way and I had to get out in the world and see what's out there. And when I found that course, I invited two friends, my friend Mandy and I invited my friend Annabelle. And I said, ladies, I found this thing. It's talking about people making all of this money online. I mean, people are making these courses, people are making money. Like, we have to get in this. And they joined with me. And it was pretty freaking awesome to have them be a part of that and have, then that conversation that continued from there of us showing up and asking these questions, talking about email lists and opt-ins and making more money than we've ever talked about making before, and not just pipe dream things like, yeah, when I get rich. No, like really having plans. And that's what this book is. It's giving you a map of how you can get out there and start making more money and doing bigger things. You don't actually need a website. You don't need a website. I have a client that does not have a website. She does not have an email list, and she makes 6,000 ish dollars every single month. And she has been making it for a while now. Just being herself, just using things like Venmo, using things like social media and inviting people in. She gets it. And of course, I do believe that to have even more, to make more money, having the automation. I was putting automation, systemization, automation, all the things, tongue twisters. If you have all of this, it changes you. It changes your business. It takes some of that effort off your plate. So, my friends, that is that. I can't wait to see you there. I am excited to hear your experience with the book, and I can't wait to see you tagging and sharing and doing all the things. So, my friends, I will see you on the 10th. Until then, stay blessed, stay excited, and stay open to your miracles.